professional selling is very empowering for women because it can open many doors. It can be their ticket to a better life, better careers, better job prospects, choices, and money.
I'd like to welcome all followers of the Talking Sales series back to the show. And today I'm delighted to have Sue Barrett with me again. G'day, Sue. How are you doing?
I'm well, John. Thanks for having me.
It's not half obvious, but you're a woman, Sue. And I know you've got a real soft heart for growing the amount of women in sales teams, business teams generally, and we've already had a discussion about the value of that for organisations. But you've also, I've read a headline that you raised to say that a sales career is brilliant for women's health and well-being. That interested me. Because more often than not, you see sales as a high stress environment and so on. And I wouldn't have thought that was a common thing to see that it does help women's health and well-being. Why do you say that?
It's all about agency. Okay. And agency is the power to have agency, to have control over your life, to be able to make your own decisions, to be able to actually, step out into the world. Social agency is defined as the capacity for an individual to act independently and to be able to make their own free choices. And it's been well proven that educating girls and women is vital for their overall health and well-being because it gives them agency. And so mastering the skills of professional salespeople gives women agency too. So learning the craft of professional selling is very empowering for women because it can open many doors. It can be their ticket to a better life, better careers, better job prospects, choices, and money.
Okay. Well, I'm starting to understand that because whether it's male or female, in my view, if you're under control of what you're doing and you're leading it yourself, you've got control over the destiny and so on, then it doesn't matter how busy you are, you don't build up a lot of stress. It's when you feel out of control and can't get your arms around what you're doing and you feel it's going to fail or whatever, then the stress starts building up. And so that sounds like what you're talking about, but that's applicable to both male and female, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but a lot of women aren't necessarily exposed to what it takes to be good in sales. And a lot of them actually feel, depending on the cultural environment that they've been raised in, they may feel that they don't have power to make those sorts of changes or decisions. And that's why educating girls and educating women across the board is very important because still too many women around the world are illiterate, too young girls are illiterate. And if we can educate them, then they're in a position to be able to make better decisions, to be able to think about what they want to do. I mean, I know when I started my business back on the 9th of January 1995, I think I had $3,000, right? But the one thing that gave me the courage and confidence to open my doors and to get, start this business and be here 26 years later is that I actually knew how to sell. I'd been schooled well in the company I'd worked at before, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And I recall in my first week of opening the doors, I made 100 prospecting phone calls, and I got myself around 16 appointments, in that sort of latter part of the week and the week after. And I remember on the Friday of that first week, I had, one of my first appointments, and there was an opportunity there to run a sales conference for this person. Now, I hadn't ever worked with them before, but they knew of me. And we agreed, and yes, Sue, I want to work with you, how much that will cost. And I said, it'll be $10,000. And he said, fine, not a problem at all. And then I asked the next question because, it's the end of my first week. I've got to get money in the bank. And I said to him, look, you don't have to do this, but could I ask a favor of you? Because I've just opened my doors. Would you be able to actually, give me a payment for this conference so that I can get things going and start organizing stuff? And it was back, 26 years ago. He got his checkbook out and he wrote me the check for $10,000 and handed it over to me. And I went to the bank. I got there before 4 p.m, before the banks closed, and I deposited my first, check, $10,000 in my first week. And the only reason I knew how to do that is because I'd been taught by good people beforehand, mostly men, how to
And your father, from what I gather.
and my father from many years ago too, how to actually ask good questions and how to position myself in a respectful way to be able to earn what I'm worth and I knew that from that day onwards I would be okay. And so I think what's really interesting is that learning that confidence and capability and being able to take it forward really helps people. There's so many women out there, and men too, who've got ideas, but they're too scared. They don't know how to ignite them. They don't know how to get them going. And when I've spoken to startups or people looking to start a new business or something, I say to them two things. One, are there enough customers out there for it to be commercially viable? Because if there's not, it's just a hobby, and that's okay. But if there is, second question, do you know how to sell? And they go, what? And they go, do you know how to sell? Do you know how to pick a phone up, contact people, and get deals and opportunities rolling in through the door? And most people don't. So one of the things that I want to be able to do, because if you know, even if look, I've been in my own business for 26 years, and there have been plenty of stressful times and stuff, but the one thing I know for certain is never stop prospecting, never stop selling, never stop thinking about how you help people and what you can do. When you have that as a solid framework within you, it's incredible what you can achieve. And so that's why I think, with women, if we can actually help them have more agency, if we can skill them up so that they know how to sell better, sell themselves for jobs, if they go for a job, hold their own, start a business, be a great salesperson in a team, good things really happen then.
That's a very clear message to the, as you say, girls and women out there as they're going through their education and development. It's just as strong for men though too, Sue, in my mind, because so many men, they're not taught early on how to sell. They've often fallen into the career one way or another. And we, as our education system and our company development programs, etc., need to, in my mind, much more cognizant of the fact that everybody, as you keep saying, everybody sells and everybody in the organisation has a role to play in sales. And if we can get people understanding that they have that capability, no matter what their inner characteristics are, they will have much more control over their lives and their destiny. And that applies just as much to men as women. But I think your message to women is extremely strong.
Exactly, because here's the other thing. For women to get into more senior positions, to be able, and to get there on merit, they have to be visible. And selling is a career, if you're in an organisation, that's very visible. And, we need to get some gender balance happening at senior management.
Totally.
And so one of the things that I think, here for women's wellbeing is we have more representation of women at senior management and board level. Sales as a career can help accelerate that. And also it brings with us a savviness about markets and that interconnectivity. So, I think, I want to help men and women, but women need more help in this space because we're underrepresented in sales teams, we're underrepresented in leadership and management, and we need help to get that equity happening, because when we have women in senior leadership roles, particularly leading sales teams, what we do know is that their sales teams display significantly higher levels of civic virtue, sportsmanship, altruism, courtesy, cheerleading, peacemaking, and overall citizenship, so good corporate citizenship. So women's leadership styles really does help with what we call organisational citizen behaviour. So it also will help diminish a lot of the issues that we find when organisations go off the rails and have unethical, cause lots of issues. So there's a lot of goodness there. But as much as I want to help men, women definitely need a lot of help in this space, and we need to advocate for them and also help them get there so that we can help expand and bring better capabilities into organisations. So sorry to be a bit partisan there.
And sorry, I didn't mean to take anything away from your message. I totally agree. That's where the challenge is. We have not got enough women in the sales organisations. We have not got enough women in leadership, and we certainly need to focus a lot more in that area.
And when women have more agency, then they can actually do more things, which is why it comes back to the topic, why being good in sales or having a good sales career is very good for women's health and overall well-being. Because like I said, they can do more things. The more power they have, the more opportunity they have. And selling is an enabling. It's the vehicle that allows opportunity to flourish and people to prosper. And I want that for everyone. But as I said, I think women just need more help to raise this awareness. And I'm happy to be part of that cheerleading squad for that.
And I'm happy to be there helping you cheer along, Sue. So thank you for that message, and for all the women out there and all the leaders out there, men included. This is a golden opportunity for all of us. It'll help our organisations. It'll help our culture within our organisations. It'll help the way we engage with clients. It's just got to be the way we move forward to be much more effective in our business and in the community. So, Sue, thank you very much. Love your message.
Thanks, John.
If you got value out of that discussion, you'll get even more value out of the book, The Wentworth Prospect. It's an award-winning book. It's a sales novel. It's a page turner, and it's great for learning more about sales leadership and sales in the B2B world.